What's going on, YouTube? We're back at it for another video, and today we've got the best shotgun inside of Modern Warfare Zombies. Now, if you played around with most of the shotguns from MW2 to MW3 inside of Zombies, they all seem to feel a bit lackluster, and maybe even the shotgun we're showcasing today, if you didn't use it with the right ammunition, it more than likely felt lackluster itself at the same point. Even before pack-a-punching this, it still sucks, but after we pack-a-punch this with the right ammunition, it actually turns into one of the most devastating guns inside of the game right now. Not only is it perfect for clearing crowds all the way into Tier 3, even against those fat boy mega armored zombies, we'll be one-shotting some of them, but at the same time, we'll be doing some devastating damage to high-value targets, and special infected are going to get cleared out really quickly with this shotgun. Now, let's get into the gun itself. Now, the shotgun specifically that we're going to be using is a LOCKWOOD 680 Malicious Marrow. Now, this is a blueprint that you can actually get from doing the Act 1 story missions of Zombies, I believe, but the very specific attachment that we need for this is the 12-gauge slugs. You'll need to level up this shotgun to 8, I believe, in order to unlock the ammunition slot, and then you'll need to unlock the 12-gauge slugs themselves. Now, the reason this makes this broken is after we end up packet-punching this weapon just one time, that 12-gauge slug goes from a 1 slug to a pellet slug, almost like it is a slug buckshot. You are shooting a 4-bore buckshot. If you know what that weapon is, you know how devastating that can be, and this thing gets ramped up in damage very quickly and has clearing power even at distance with zombies, and it has penetration power. It is absolutely ridiculous, and you'll see in the gameplay coming up. But some of the attachments you definitely want to put on this is going to be the barrel. We'll get the Longwood Defender heavy long barrel, just giving us even more ammunition to carry, or at least up to 10. So once we're pack-a-punched, we've got 20. On top of that, we're going with the Demo X40's tactical pump. Now, you don't want to put anything else with rechambering speed. There's only one attachment that we'll need for that, as you'll notice when we get into the actual rate of fire. Sadly enough, it says that it's going up with the little green bar right there, but it's not. So we're going to want that, sprint of fire and aim down sight speed, along with that rechambering accuracy. Now, the only attachment we'll need for increasing our overall rate of fire is the Express Light Bolt, giving us that rechambering speed. On top of that, I went with the sawed-off mod just to give me more mobility, sprint to fire, and that aim down sight speed. You could go with the X10 Tactical Matchstock if you wanted to go for a hip fire or tac stance spread build. I haven't really played around with it myself, but by all means, more than likely it will work fairly well itself. One thing I will say completely avoid is doing anything that tightens the pellet spread. Since this is firing as pellets, I thought to myself maybe this would actually help it, basically pull in that damage, especially for headshots against high-value targets. Inadvertently, it ended up actually decreasing the overall damage output of the gun, so I would highly suggest never using any of the chokes or muzzles in order to benefit this gun. You're more than likely going to be best bet with just trying to make this into a hip-fire tac spread build if you're going for anything other than what I've got in front of you right now. But what we're going to be doing is going into this match, and we've got a Tier 2 and Tier 1 crystal. I'm going to showcase a little bit of that power ramp up. Even just with Pack 1, it's going to be a devastating weapon. You'll be one-shotting Tier 2 zombies, even the armored ones. I'm going to throw on a purple ether tool instead of a legendary. I could throw on the legendary, but realistically, a lot of people are either going to have the epic or the rare one, the blue or the purple. We want to make it as realistic as possible and really showcase the overall power you're normally going to have, not just like this legendary, wow, this thing's just blowing everything away, because most guns at Tier 3 or Pack-a-Punch 3 with a legendary modification on it are going to do a lot better than any other gun that you're using generally anyway. But on top of that, we've got the Napalm Burst Ammo mod. You can use whatever you want with this one. Napalm's just going to overall give us even more of that damage output. And obviously, it's a shotgun, so we do want speed cola with this. You won't need it up until the point where we're in Tier 3, because the reload speed still is pretty quick. And since we have 20 shells in this, it's not too bad. But overall, at some point, you do want to get that speed cola, and it's going to make life so much easier. With that being said, let's jump into the gameplay. Alright guys, we're in the match. I'm just going to showcase the raw power of just the gray shotgun itself. It does seem pretty good, but at a bit of a distance, it starts to just dwindle off when it comes to overall damage output. And you'll notice when I shoot into the sky, we've got one little slug going out. This is very important right here, just to showcase what ends up happening. You'll notice that reload speed's pretty slow right there. Now, we're just going to pack-a-punch this one. We'll put the purple ether tool on, drink that speed cola. But now, when we shoot into the sky, you'll notice we've got the pellet spread. It is absolutely ridiculous. These are each going to be considered a slug with the same 360 headshot damage to it. And as soon as we pack-a-punch it and give it that purple rarity, that damage is going to be overwhelming. And from distance, we are going to be clearing these zombies no problem. You'll be actually able to snipe some of these zombies. I wish I could see some right now. Actually, we've got one right there, just one shot it. Got another one just over here, one shot. No problems whatsoever. All right, now to showcase the power even more, we're going to go into the tier 2 zone with the pack 1 and showcase its overall power. You know what, let me showcase something real quick, considering, you know, probably some people out there thinking I'm going to be, you know, duping things through Tombstone and things like that. I've been having the worst luck in this game, considering well, there's the packet burst and packet loss right there. I have been crashing more than 90% of the time that I've been playing this game ever since this Season 1 update, and I have lost everything time and time again. The amount of times I've had to regain is unbelievable at this point. Hopefully, we do not crash before we make it into Tier 3 in this match. If we do, I do have some gameplay footage of a previous version, but I'd really like to, you know, have a less sleepy version of myself as the showcase for this gameplay footage. But now, we're about to jump into Tier 2 and get that action going. Alright, so we got a couple of zombies over here. And you'll notice, oh god, this packet burst is getting absolutely the most frustrating thing I've ever seen. Now this is still pack 1 right now. Get that reload going. Try to showcase the one-shot capability. And you'll notice it is penetrating through some of these zombies. But overall, this gun just feels so good right now. Oh man. Alright, now let's find a high-value target. Alright guys. We're here at the Disciple, and you already know Disciples are an absolute pain to deal with for the most part, especially in Tier 2. If you've only got a pack 1 weapon, there's not a lot of guns that'll end up actually taking this guy down fairly quickly. But luckily, we're able to just melt this, and we're still at pack 1 right now, and I'm getting packet loss, so it gets a little bit dangerous when you've only got 1 plate. You know, the regain has been really irritating, but you'll notice some of that clearing power right there. Reload's looking nice, but we're just chunking away at his damage, or his health bar, I should say. And we're able to keep ourselves safe for the most part. Reload's not too bad. Still a shotgun, you know, it's one of those moments we're slowly putting those shells back in, but that's pack 1 right there. Like, that's still doing ridiculous amounts of damage before we've even made it into the pack 2 on this, and that's going up against a tier 2 value or high value target, and that's a Disciple at the same point. I know there's more than a few people that are probably going to see that footage and remind themselves of how many times they've tried to roll up against that with an assault rifle, and that guy's just tanking all that damage. It just gets frustrating. Ooh, thank God we've got some Juggernog and a self-revive. But alright guys, let's start moving on. We'll do a couple more targets in the high value for, oh, I didn't even, yeah, I forgot. I didn't even put on the napalm burst yet. Well, we showcased how much power this actually has and how much more it can have with just some ammo mods. It's up to you. Like, this gun's doing it all on its own. Like, this shotgun is so much fun, I'll tell you right now. But we're going to find another high value target. Alright, we've got another Disciple, so we're going to pack 2, then put on the napalm burst and see how much quicker we can actually get this one done. Now, even from a distance, you'll notice we're still able to chunk away at that damage, and then you'll notice how much more devastating it is now. I mean, that thing is just eating away at that health. Unbelievable. Gotta love it. And just melting those zombies. Just get that reload going. If only we could, God, terrible rewards. Sometimes tier 2 is better, though. But if only we could have a magazine for this just to make that reload even quicker. Oh, it would just make it even better than it is right now. But alright, let's find another high value target. Alright guys, we got a Mangler over here. See how quickly we can put this one down. Alright. Ah, great. Missed that shot. Now, probably the number one thing I don't like about this gun is when I sway left or right. It does take away from the, like you'll notice the iron sight just kind of blends together in moments when you're just going left or right like that. Really irritates me. I wish I could have something a little bit more precise. Like if I'm moving left or right, it's completely gone. Like I can't see it. It's irritating. Maybe the, you know, tack sprint, tack sprint, tack stance, good God. Tack stance spread. Dyslexia, guys. Would probably be a little bit better. Easier on the eyes to kind of pinpoint some of those shots, as it is pretty tight-knit right there. But there are times where I find that this actually does group it together better. It's just, you've got to keep up with that moment where it just blends together when you've got something like this. Frustrating. Alright, we got another mangler out here. Let's see how quick we can put him down. So I'm trying to get the shots perfectly lined up so I can really get the most damage, because you notice right there, like as soon as the armor's off, some of those shots, I mean, it's like almost half the health bar just going down straight away. But you do kind of got to get that spread just right. You don't necessarily have to be right up in their face either. Like you can do this from a distance and be perfectly fine, and we'll showcase a good bit of that once we get into tier 3. Let's see what we got this time though. Getting a little bit back, but now I'll see you in tier 3. Now before we end up packing this up to 3, I wanted to showcase the raw power of it. Even before we get it to pack 3. Oh goodness. Hopefully the packet burst isn't going to be the downfall of me here. Oh yeah. But even at just pack 2, like this is devastating towards the tier 3 zombies, and you can see how this is going to end up being a one-shotter once we're at pack 3 with this. Now I'm going to need to get over here, throw this decoy, get some stamina up, and then we'll be able to get this up to pack 3. Alright, I'll see you at the next high value target. Well guys, it looks like I'm going to be fighting other people for some of these contracts, which is pretty irritating. But hopefully we'll be able to find one soon enough. Well, sadly enough, we haven't been able to find a bounty target just yet, but we're going to do an outlast just to showcase the overall clearing power of the shotgun inside a tier 3 zone. I really hope we're going to be able to get one of these bounties. There's more than a few people in the red zone right now, and they're hogging them all up, and I really just want to kind of showcase that you can just solo with this shotgun. But we'll get this outlast done to showcase how well this is going to be able to clear out those tier 3 zombies. Now this isn't the great spot that we're going to want. You know, some people can go back up there and cheese it, but I generally just kind of stick back here. You know, notice how easily we're going to be able to just mulch through these. Now if you've got one of those ether blades as well, like that just makes this so much easier at the same time. Well, that's me missing a shot. But when we're actually able to line these guys up, it makes it so much easier for this shotgun to just get the work done. Oh goodness, too many crystals. Doesn't help when you have one of those moments of packet burst either. But you'll notice how much easier it does get. The problem just becomes one of those moments of zombies having their own alternate routes, or if you've got packet loss, packet burst like I've been having since season 1, does feel just a bit jittery. Absolutely frustrating to deal with. But we'll be able to just clear through these zombies no problem. We just one-shot that one. Another one-shot moment, just trying to make sure we don't have any behind us. You notice I'm having just constant, just jitters with this. Uh-oh, we need to get that back. We don't want to be missing out on decoys, especially for later. I am having all sorts of issues with this. Goodness. But makes it super easy, honestly. You know, a little bit of mobility, you definitely want to have Juggernog and, what is it, Speed Cola, Stamina Up. All of these are going to help you out with this build. But for the most part, you're going to be just fine with this shotgun. And I've only got 1 plate right now. Sadly enough, I still haven't even found like a 2 plate. Ooh, we did find another self-revive, sigil. We'll just kind of throw that sigil out. Don't really need it. It's good for farming just to get some consumables, but we're not going to be doing it with this shotgun just yet. That'll be for a different video on soloing that. We may be able to... Oh! Alright, hold on. We're going to quickly get this bounty. Alright, sadly enough, our first bounty is going to be a mimic, but still something you'll end up facing off with. Still give us a good showcase on how much damage this can do. This is probably one of those targets I'd say is better suited for utilizing the hipfire or tack spread, considering his weak spot's right there in the middle. Oh, goodness, that one plate's really showing right now. Alright, so we're going to throw a decoy real quick. Typically, I wouldn't say you want to be in the face of these guys. Typically, you want to be in a good vantage point. But with mimics, since they're always chasing you, and if you get too far away from them, that's when it gets really problematic, because they've got that orb that they spit out that just does devastating amounts of damage. One way that you can dodge it is by kind of like running left or right, though, instead of just running straight away. That ends up being like the one way to strafe that. But you'll notice we're able to clear through some of these zombies pretty quickly. We don't necessarily need the decoy, we just need it in moments when we've got something that aggro on our butt. Hey, large backpack. That's going to help us out. Now, let's see if we can get another one of those bounties going. Well, sadly enough, there's no bounties right now. There's a couple of people out here, you know, kind of farming up the bounties. So we're just going to take on a regular abomination real quick, showcase how much damage we can actually do against this. And I'll kind of give you a tip on this one. You really don't want to be on the ground fighting these guys. And you'll notice at some of these points, there's really good tactical advantage points that not only are going to save you from the actual abomination itself, but give you an opportunity at every one of these ladders in order to just farm out some ammo or plates. If you're ever low or if you're feeling overwhelmed and you want to clear the crowd of that area, this is going to be your best bet. And we've got perfect shots on the abomination just in front of us, which, you know, would be nice if the lag would just cut down. I don't know what Call of Duty's been doing recently, but they have just been mulching their own servers effectively. But you'll notice we're doing devastating damage against this guy. Like, it is no problem, and then that's really irritating that somebody comes in and just... Okay, well... Like, I don't need the turrets. You know, I know a lot of people are utilizing that method, and it can be, you know, pretty powerful, but it's frustrating to see that I've got to have to deal with something like that. We'll just pick those up and kind of roll out and see if we can get another bounty. Hopefully the game doesn't crash by the time. It just kind of ruins the moment. It does. I wish the... I know the turrets help a lot of people, but I just don't need them. I did end up getting another bounty, which is going to be a mangler, but I did have somebody else walk up that ended up having that open mic moment that had some language that I just didn't want showcased on the YouTube. You know, sadly enough, this was one of those moments where I wanted to do this 1v1, but he did help out a little bit. You know, it's nice to see more people are coming into the red zone and they're willing to help with some people, even if it's not their bounty. You know, I don't mind that at all. But there's just some moments where, you know, if you're just really trying to showcase that build, it does suck when you've got somebody else helping. But at the same time, we've seen the amount of damage we've got, and you know how easily it is getting done here. We still only have one plate, and I did end up just partying up with this guy because he already had another bounty. People are starting to farm it, and I was able to talk to him to later on get myself into one of those mega abominations 1v1 so I could really showcase this myself. Now we finally get our hands on one of those mega abominations, and we'll be able to get this one done by ourselves. Old Carne Asada over there, or I feel like that was his name. He's going to be staying off on his own. Apparently he's going off for his own tombstone that he didn't even realize he had. But you'll notice things get a little bit hairy in this situation. We're definitely in a position where we're not exactly having the best vantage point and trying to get that angle on the mega abomination, but we're able to kite him over. We've got special infected rolling out. We've got zombies just about everywhere. And you'll notice here coming up in a moment, we are a little bit low to the ground. So this mega abomination, for whatever reason, since this season 1 update, they seem to think, or they're more capable of shooting their lasers more often now whenever you're on a rooftop that's low enough. You'll notice right now, kind of stuck in a poor position in a way. We just got to wait for that laser to stop and then be able to just kind of mulch through some of these zombies. Our best bet in a position like this is actually to just throw a decoy to get those zombies off, and then we'll be able to start blasting away at his faces as he's shooting those lasers to get the maximum amount of weak spot damage. You'll notice we're really starting to chunk away at that health bar right now. Throwing another decoy just to make sure I'm just capable of constantly hitting those weak spots. And then he's going in for another laser, and we're able to just finish him off right here. It is absolutely devastating how quickly we can actually melt some of these mega abominations. But at the same time, keeping that crowd control, being able to do it solo. If you had this with multiple peoples, or multiple players, you'll end up having probably one of the smoothest experiences with this gun. I'd say this is going to outshine the tiers. Those pistols can just be put into the storage. We're now at the LOCKWOOD 680. Alright, now we've got the last bounty that we're going to be able to complete for the match. It's the Mega Abomination. One thing I just wanted to showcase really for the video, and I had to disconnect the audio from the other guy because he has just given a bit too much foul language for me. Or at least the video. Not a bad dude, but he's just camo grinding. We're going to showcase how we can easily get some of these Mega Abominations, even if you were just using assault rifles, some other type of weapon. This is probably going to be your best bet at actually facing off with them. Just try to find some of these rooftops nearby that are kind of low hanging. You'll notice out of the blue, we've got the capability of just being able to block all of his laser. And even if we're up here, he just constantly starts shooting his own laser. Now, if I had some decoys right now, it would make it even easier, because we could just kind of peek our head around and then be capable of just getting that weak spot damage non-stop, because he'll just keep shooting those lasers over and over. We gotta reload a little bit more. You'll notice he's about to start doing his laser yet again. We get a little bit overwhelmed here because I just started talking and going about my own way. But we're easily capable of clearing out these crowds, no problem whatsoever. Probably the only thing that's as dangerous as it possibly could be is just being straight down in front of him. But we'll be able to just kind of do a little bit of that bullfighting moment and then move through the crowd. But you'll notice we've just got plates, ammo. We're good. We've got no worries on this end. We'll be able to clear this, no problem. Finish these off. He's doing his laser again, so we'll be able to come over here, melt his face off, shoot a couple of these. If you had two people up here, you know, one person just covering this, even with an assault rifle, and then you're capable of just shooting him off to the side, it just makes the whole thing so much easier. I'm going to throw a decoy so we can really get some damage going. We'll get that middle face popped off. We'll get that reload action. Gotta make sure that's not coming back up. Is that a full power? Yeah, we'll be able to do Tesla Storm real quick so we can really just get this melted away as quickly as possible. Sadly, his face is stuck off in the side right there. We'll have to wait for a moment and be able to get that weak spot damage in. Oh, packet burst. Giving me a fright. That's for sure. But you'll notice how much damage we're dealing. It is pretty devastating. We're able to get this done fairly quickly. Now if we can just kind of rearrange his positioning, get back up top, get a couple more plates in. He's shooting his lasers again. This is a perfect opportunity for us to get some of those weak spot shots in. But even without the weak spot damage, we're still doing a pretty good amount. He seems like he's finally made it over to the exfil. Hopefully I won't crash this game. We've been doing pretty lucky today. Maybe this update that they had today is actually helping, but I can't be certain of it. We're going to get back up top to make sure that he does that lightning attack again. Careful though, as obviously we still have more of these enemies just laying around, and we get a pack 2 crystal. Beautiful. We're going to throw that over this. Alright guys, that's going to be right there, the ending. I'm going to try and make my way on out of here. It's a beautiful shotgun. I've been looking for one shotgun that'll actually work in this game, and this is the one. This one is all around best in slot right now. Oh god. Uh-oh. We're having latency variation. Things are going wrong. I don't even know what's happening. Like, ever since that update for Season 1, I've been having crazy issues with the game. I don't know what it's all about. Hopefully I'll still be able to exit. But this shotgun, it's overpowered. And it is a good time. Honestly, I'm going to be using this for quite some time, and I'd make a strong argument. They're probably not going to nerf this for a good while. It's going to be one of those that they probably won't notice up until it's next year, because they're about to go on their little Christmas holiday, and they're going holiday for the New Year's. So by the time they get back, you know, mid-January or late January is the next update we're really going to see. So whatever's broken right now, whatever problems we may have, sadly enough, it's more than likely going to be the persistent issue into the going future until we end up in January. Now, for something like this, though, where we're actually going to be able to just sit here and have some fun, not really worry about anything, just have a good time, that I don't really worry about. That's just going to make life overall more enjoyable with the game, in my opinion. Especially when it comes to just mulching through some of these zombies. Just having a good time. But that's going to be the video right there, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. You know, if you'd like to see some of this content or more of this content like this, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to see some of this content live, hit that link down in the description. Follow me over at Twitch. We'll be streaming daily. We've got more than a few things to cover in this as well. Just have a good time playing. Oh, and hopefully the Santa update coming up, where we get a Santa boss, is going to be a good time, especially if I can just keep the game from crashing. You know, that's like the biggest thing that I really want. Thankfully, this is like one of the few exfils I've had. This is one of the few 10% I've actually made it out with. But hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one, and have a good one.